Okay, let's go.
Jesus used to tell the apostles and his friends that he was king. He told them that he would be raised on the third day. His followers listened to Jesus, but they did not always understand what he meant. Then something happened that made them forget everything. Jesus was put to death on a cross. Even after he was dead, the soldiers were mean to him. One Roman soldier stuck a spear into his side after he was dead just to make sure. How could Jesus be king if he was dead? This was on a Friday, and it was the saddest and most hopeless day that has ever been. The apostles and Jesus' friends thought everything was over. After Jesus died, two friends came to get his body. They were Joseph from Arimathea and Nicodemus. They washed Jesus' dead body and wrapped it in long strips of cloth, with lots and lots of spices in between the cloths. They put the body into a tomb that had been carved out of a solid rock. The Jewish leaders were afraid that someone might steal Jesus' body and say that he was raised from the dead. So they asked Pilate to put a special seal on the stone in front of the tomb and put guards in front of it. That was still on Friday, the first day. Saturday, the second day, passed, and all was quiet then. On the third day, Sunday, some women sadly made their way to the tomb. It was a custom for women to come and put sweet-smelling spices on the body of the person that died. But the women were worried. They had heard about the big stone in front of the tomb. Who would move the stone so they could put spices on the body of Jesus? When the women arrived at the tomb, they saw that the stone had already been moved. A man dressed in white, an angel, was beside the tomb, and he said, "Don't be afraid. You are looking for Jesus from Nazareth, the one who was killed on a cross. He has risen from death. He is not here. Look, here is the place they laid him. Now go and tell his followers and Peter. Jesus is going into Galilee. He will be there before you. You will see him there as he told you before." This is what had happened just before the women had arrived. There was a violent earthquake, and an angel of the Lord came down out of heaven, like a lightning bolt. His clothes were as white as snow. The angel went to the tomb and rolled back the huge stone and then sat on it. The guards were so afraid that they couldn't move. Finally, they ran away to tell the Jewish leaders what had happened. The Jewish leaders didn't want anyone to know the truth, so they gave the soldiers lots of money and told them to tell everyone that the disciples had come during the night and stolen Jesus' body. The women left to tell the other followers of Jesus. Peter and John both came to see. Everyone was amazed.
But one of the women, Mary Magdalene, stayed behind. She was in the tomb crying because she still could not understand how Jesus' body could be gone. How could the tomb be empty? Maybe someone had stolen it. But Mary was not alone in the tomb. Two angels spoke to her and asked her why she was crying. She began to explain, but then heard another voice. At first, she didn't know who was speaking, but then he heard him say, "Mary." When she heard him say her name, Mary knew that it was Jesus, her teacher, speaking. Jesus had come back from the dead. Jesus spoke to Mary and told her to go and tell the others that he would spend some time on earth with them, but that he would be returning to his Father soon. After Jesus rose from the dead, he appeared to many people. Two men were walking along a road talking about Jesus when he just appeared right there with him. His apostles had gathered, and he appeared right there in the room with them. He ate with them, and even let them touch the scars he had from when he had been crucified. More and more people began to realize that Jesus was no longer dead. Jesus was alive,